Welcome. I'm Ellen Cahill with WOSU Classroom. And this session, we're going to be jamming with Mr. J as a way to promote well-being in your classrooms. We'll be exploring season 2. We've added 4 more videos to the original 6-video series in season 1. And I will be sharing with you templates that I've created that complement each of the videos that you can use to extend the learning into perhaps blended or remote learning settings. So these templates are going to be in Google Slides and Google Jamboard. So they're really easy to add the links to a Google Meet or a Google Classroom. So you really can't extend these resources to build on these short videos. We all know that right now well-being is kind of priority number 1, and that it really needs to be something that is immersed into your school culture and also bringing your families on board too. But it's really hard to deal with big emotions. And in Drawing with Mr. J, these videos are meant as a way to kind of open that door, open that conversation so students feel more comfortable and find ways to put language behind what they're feeling. And maybe taking that time to kind of pause through the act of creating a drawing and think about what's really behind those emotions that we carry with us. Juravich has use this technique inside his classroom as an art educator in Olentangy local schools at Liberty Tree Elementary. He is also the Ohio Educator of the Year in 2018. And so using this idea of taking a simple drawing challenge, he's added in the element from Ohio's social emotional learning standards. And so he really is that creative brain trust of ideas and experiences that he has shared with us as we've grown and built this into a series. On our website, you will see that we have videos where John has talked about the importance of social emotional health and how to help parents explore this with their children. And then also there's a video where he talks directly to students. And I really kind of want to share with you his thoughts behind these series. And I think he does this so eloquently in the family video. So let's just listen to John Juravich and what the message that he hopes to bring through this video series.
Hey, I'm John Juravich. You can call me Mr. J. I'm an artist, a parent, and the 2018 Ohio Teacher of the Year. One of the most challenging lessons children are faced with is how to recognize and understand their own emotions, how to honor anger and sadness, how to move through disappointment. Even big, joyful moments can be really confusing. In study after study, kids who can name their feelings are more confident and successful at school and at home. In my professional life, it's called social emotional learning. But as a parent, even I struggle with teaching my kids how to name their feelings in ways they understand. That's where I hope the series Drawing with Mr. J comes in. Drawing is a great way to start the conversation. In this series, I take kids through a series of drawing challenges that are fun, quick, and easy. We start with the challenge of the day. Then we ask questions about how our faces may express emotions. Then I get to share what emotions may feel like in our bodies. You can use this series to talk with your children. Set aside some quiet one-on-one time. Draw along with them. And trust me, you don't have to think of yourself as an artist. Simple lines and shapes can help anyone join the fun. And it's important to remember that emotions are hard to understand. So give plenty of time for discovery and explanation. Don't forget that you should share with your children personal examples of your own emotions and how you worked through them. I remember when I was a kid, and some adults would address my emotions in a way that wasn't comfortable. Stop crying, or get over it. Don't be such a hothead. Remember that denying emotions can be really damaging. Let your children know that emotions are an important way of understanding our world, and no matter what, you'll process them together. Holding space for emotions is important, and planning a way to understand them is key. Keep your tone light and supportive, and take your time. Remember, the stronger the emotion, the more confusing it might be to feel it and name it, especially if there's more than one emotion involved. Use drawing as a tool to explore all kinds of feelings. Post them all over your house to keep the conversation going. Once you start, you'll be surprised how easy it is to just keep talking about what's going on inside.
So, like John has said, it really gives you the background on how this series was created out and how important it is to bring families on board with this. And I want to share with you all the free resources that are provided on our website. So when you go and visit WOSU Classroom's website, and the link is provided in this presentation, or you can just go ahead and Google WOSU Classroom Drawing with Mr. J. You will see that we are introducing this, and we have all of these resources now for season 2. Season 2 has 4 videos, and they are a parade of food. He takes potatoes and puts them inside a parade with banners and instruments and balloons. A friendly mountain is the next one, where he's using simple shapes and putting images on top of the mountain. We have well-dressed bear and butterfly turtle. And so the topics that are covered in each of those videos are how to identify emotions. How do we take time and pause and think about all of those emotions, even when we're really joyful, like at a parade? What would that look like? Also, 2, sharing emotions with trusted adults. Who could I talk to? Maybe at school or at home. Is there a grandparent or some other adult in the family that, you know what, when, as you know, we're really trying to struggle and think about this, what adults could we do this, and how could we approach that? And that's in the episode Friendly Mountain. Also, too, with Well-Dressed Bear, you can have all the finery on that you might want, but how do you stop and look around and see how others are really feeling their emotions? How can we show sympathy as well as empathy? And what could we do better as a listener to tap in to see how friends and other folks that are special to us, how we can help and support them in what they need? And then finally, in butterfly turtle, we could be feeling 2 things at the same time. You know, we could be excited about, going in. So I'm like cross-country skiing. So I'm really excited about going out there. And of course, in Ohio, there's never enough snow to go and really practice that. So I'm excited to do it, but I'm also a little scared and sometimes a little tired, and know that that snow isn't sticking around. So how do you deal with these multiple emotions? And so in these short videos that are only somewhere between 4 and 5 minutes, he goes ahead and introduces the drawing challenge. And these are great ways in which you can access on the website and use them perhaps as a way to kind of immerse your students in conversations throughout the day or in those teachable moments. So if you have a routine that might be a morning meeting where kids are checking in and kind of, unloading that, not only their book bag, but also those baggage of emotions that they might be carrying around. These could be great as community builders. So if you want to kind of start some buddy classrooms or some other kind of little organizations, you might want to use this inside your classroom for that. Also, to read alouds in all of these videos, they may be introduced also too with a book. And so if you're looking at ways to use the social emotional learning conversations as a read aloud, we've given you options for that, as well as those teachable moments. So again, where do I find all this good stuff, Ellen? Well, you can find it on WOSU Classroom Public Media, and it's under Drawing with Mr. J. And so let's look at one of the videos that are linked on here. And this is called Friendly Mountain, so that you can just kind of see how John introduces the drawing challenge, how he kind of also to kind of watch how he subtly kind of moves it as he's drawing. Sometimes it's nice to have your hands kind of busy, and then you kind of add that little, let's give you a pause to kind of think about that. So then he kind of moves into that emotion, and then also watch how he kind of wraps it up, how he kind of shares a personal story with the students to kind of, make it relatable. And you might be thinking about how you might be sharing a relatable moment with students. And then also too, how important it is to share with a trusted adult how you're feeling. So let's go ahead and watch this video.
Hey, it's me, Mr. J, and welcome to today's drawing challenge. Do you have a couple minutes? Because today's challenge is draw a friendly mountain. So grab something to draw on and something to draw with, and let's do this. So a mountain. It could be a pointy mountain, or a rounded mountain, or a flat top mountain. I wonder what kind of mountain you'll do. I'm gonna do just kind of a rounded mountain. So I'm gonna go up and down. And maybe I'll make mine snow covered. So I'll put a little snow up here at the top. And have you ever seen a mountain with arms? Well, my friendly mountain's gonna have some arms. There he is, just waving. Looks pretty friendly so far. Now you could add trees, skiers. You could draw little mountain goats. What kind of details do you think we should add? I'm gonna add a couple trees. Just a couple little trees here on the mountain. Yeah. Now, that's a pretty good mountain, but maybe we need a face for our mountain. I'm gonna add on a little face. Yeah, a pretty friendly mountain. So let's check in. My mountain has a smile and a happy expression at the very top. You might see its face and think, I want to spend time with that mountain, or I want to be its friend. But it is also important that we realize there may be a lot more going on below the snow-covered peak. Underneath that smile, there might be some difficult emotions going on. It's okay if our friendly mountain doesn't feel like smiling all the time. That doesn't make it any less friendly. There was a moment recently in my life when I had a big smiley face, but was so very sad inside. A friend of mine passed away, and I was so very, very sad. It felt like my whole body was heavy with sadness. This feeling has a special name. It's called grief. Grief is when you lose someone or something that you love, and the sadness doesn't just go away because you want it to. There are moments when I would cry or just want to lay on the couch, and it was hard to talk about how I was feeling. It felt scary because I wasn't sure what to do with my feelings, and I just wanted to be happy, like a smiley, friendly mountain. Has this ever happened to you? Though it may seem scary, experiencing grief is natural and a part of loving other people. And it is always important that you share how you're feeling with a parent or trusted adult. It is especially necessary when we lose someone in our lives. Talking about someone you miss doesn't mean you have to forget them or move on, but it is an opportunity to remember and hold on to great memories. It may be hard to start a conversation, but using a drawing is a great place to start. You might even want to spend time drawing out some of your favorite memories together, the ones you want to remember and want to hold on to. Well, here's my mountain. Thanks for joining me for this important discussion. And as we drew a friendly mountain, I look forward to seeing you next time for another drawing challenge.
So you can kind of see how these videos, the formula that he uses to tell the story, introduce the drawing challenge, and how he really makes drawing on a Post-it note and with a marker or a pen or a pencil very easy and very approachable. And then also too what you can do next. So those are all found on our website.
And welcome.
Also, too, what's found on the website are, you can see that you've got the video, so you can play it and extend it large from the website, or you could go directly to it is linked to YouTube. There's a short summary for each of the episodes, as well as a link, and this is the treasure, friends, download the video companion. And so those video companions are really handy, and there's one for each episode that is very unique to it. And it gives you ideas on how you could view and sketch this. It gives you different questions that you can to kind of generate that conversation. It shares different books for a read aloud, and also gives you a little parent story that you can kind of add into any kind of newsletter or an email, or maybe you've got something in Seesaw where you're linking to parents. So this would all be great ways that are kind of, you can just go ahead and tap into that resource and use as you want. And then also too, you have some extension. So there are some extension activities, as well as different PBS for kids games, as well as different places that you can look on our PBS learning media. So that's all in the companion guide. So in this, getting ready for how you can kind of use these videos, but also extend them into other Google apps, I have for us some Google Slides. Now, when do I use Google Slides and when do I use Jamboards? And, many of us have learned Google Slides is more than just a presentation. It's a great place that I can directly, like in this presentation, add video links. So I don't have to have another tab or another website. It's all directly in there. Slides are also great as choice boards. I can link different images to different slides within it, so students can have voice and choice on what they might want to view or what they might want to do. And so slides is great to use for that. Also, too, I can add links to other resources. So if there might be a read aloud book or something, that might be a way that, I would choose Google Slides as my app. And lastly, it is a great way to organize a presentation so that you can guide a discussion with ease. And so you can pull it up readily. If you get to a certain point and you want to stop, Google Slides is great that you can kind of go ahead and access when you have those teachable moments. Also, too, you can add this link into a Google Classroom or share these slides in a newsletter. So it's just a very versatile tool for that. And so what I've done is I've created a folder And this link takes you right to all of the ready to use today slides that you might want to use with your face-to-face routines. Maybe you want to assign these as group or independent work or put them inside Google Classroom. So let me show you one of the templates that I've created. And this might be a way for you to kind of use when you are introducing the video. So this might be something that you are using for your reference with your student. And just like that video we just watched dealing with grief, I have added in we can watch Mr. J, and I kind of have an opening question. What does grief look like inside your body? It's really a big emotion. Let's kind of go ahead and watch the video. So it's already linked here.
Hey,
there for
it's
you
me,
to watch.
Mr. J.
And then I've given you slides to 3 different questions. And so, have you ever experienced a loss of someone dear to you? These are shapes, and students can go ahead and directly type into that. They could add images, take a picture of something. So you could add in take some pictures of the little Post-it notes that students have drawn and kind of generate a more deeper discussion with this. And so you can see that I've taken each of those questions that are on the companion guide to the video. I've taken each one of those and built a slide around that. Also, too, in that companion guide, these are the 3 books that are linked to reading more about emotions. And so students can go ahead, or you can go ahead and click on one of the images, and it will take you to that book. And it will also, I've linked a YouTube video on there so that you can have this as a read aloud. We also have those extension activities. So I've added again into this resource for you that's found in that shared folder. Take the Friendly Mountain Challenge. And so there are 3 different challenges, and each of these are linked to the slide where they can go ahead and take a moment, and they could use this slide. You could print it off if you want, or they could use different photo features, insert a picture, or bring in different images on this that they want, and they can draw and kind of extend that. You can see they could create a card to share with someone. So you might want to have, as a class, kind of get a bank of really creative cards that have those covers on them. And then when they want to go use them, they can add a personal message to that. And then also, as they can start to brainstorm on different small actions you can do to support others when you're sad. So these are all kind of inside that one. And if you want, you can use the make a copy of the slide, and you can go ahead and select which slides you might want to make a copy of. And then just kind of, rather than having 10 different slides in that presentation, you can go ahead and use those as different choice boards. Another choice board that I've created inside our folder is a journal. And so this is another way to look at season 2 and kind of use these as checking in, where the students can go ahead and, as a choice board, click on an image and select an image, and it will take you right to the slide where you've got a linked YouTube. So the YouTube, they can go ahead and watch that, and they could either draw or take a picture or add images on what would you put on your well-dressed bear. And then this is a shape that's also a text box. And so they could go ahead and write down how you could become a better learner. So these slides are meant to use and kind of extend that learning. Also, too, I've added into that folder some great things that you could use for early learners. I know many of you have found Seesaw to be a great way that adds in all those creative tools right all in there. So you could add in these Google Slides as a template into your activities and assign the activity to students. And so you can see I've added in here the video, so it's all ready for you to go. Students can insert an image of their drawing, or they can draw directly on that.
Hey, it's me, Mr. J, and welcome to...
And then they could also, in Seesaw, tell me more, where they're taking a video and they're adding more about their feelings and maybe sharing a personal story with you. And so that's a great way to kind of think and kind of extend that. And again, all those are in the folder. Now, when I'm thinking about using Jamboard, Jamboard is more of a flexible tool. It's more kind of used within a community. You certainly could make a copy for each student and add that, and I'll show you how you can kind of do that. But in Jamboard, you can add images, you can add shapes, and you can draw. Think of Jamboard as an interactive whiteboard. And so you could use this and kind of draw what shape you might want for your butterfly turtle. What two animals might I want? So it's a great interactive whiteboard. It also is something that you can drag and drop. And so it makes it really something that students can kind of move things around. You can add sticky notes and you can add thoughts really quickly. And the beautiful thing about Jamboard is you can collaborate in real time. So if you wanted to do a session maybe after school, with a Google Meet, Jamboard would be the tool that I would really kind of want to go and use. And so Jamboards are great. So you can add these images in here and kind of check in, and students can kind of either circle or they can add a shape and lay on top of this on which of these feelings look like you. And it's also a great way that we can start building that bank of words to help describe what our emotions feel like and what we might say to others to show more empathy. So again, I have a folder that's all ready to use of these Jamboards. And the one that I have is that you can use these. So here is a parade of food Jamboard. And what I did is out of that original Google Slides, I downloaded the slides as an image so that I could upload that image into my Jamboard, and students can't change this. I know many of you are worried is that, someone's going to mess up the background that I've kind of made in here. So you can go ahead and set the background and use one of the images from the slides that I've created to create that Jamboard. And you can see that you can add up to 20 different boards or frames onto the Jamboard. And when you go into Jamboard, you can kind of see that there's this little caret and it will expand, and you can add another Jamboard by just hitting, or another frame just by hitting the plus, or you can go ahead and move these into different orders or delete them. And then Jamboards are just really easy to share by going up to that top right-hand corner and share. And you can see that this is locked right now. And so when you want to share this, it's really important that you take a look at that shared link. And you can see here that if I'm going to use this in a small group, or if I've got a Google Meet and I want everyone to kind of do it, I really want to make sure that I have it so that anyone with the link can go ahead and edit it. Another way that you can go ahead and look at this is to view it. So you can give students time to go ahead and edit it, and then you can go in and change the shared setting into view, and then that way you can have a more in-depth discussion on it and not have anybody change it as you're going ahead and learning and looking at it. The more button is really handy here where you can have more actions. And what I like to do is, and I'm going to show you this real quickly, is I like to save a frame as an image. I can go ahead and add different sticky notes to it. And then when I save it as an image, I can go ahead and upload it as one of the frames as one of the backgrounds, and then the students can't change it. And I'll show you that really quickly. And then also too, when you go to the more button, this is where you go to make a copy. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Jamboard that I've created. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you some different features in real time here. So you can see that there are the tools on the side. I have highlighters and pens. This is my sticky note. I have images that I can go ahead. And this is what I've done, is I've gone ahead and taken these graphics that John Juravich has drawn for the videos. And I've added them in, and I've gone ahead and put in these different shapes. And so when you click on the more button, you can go ahead and you can see that I can duplicate those, which is what I did here to get them all the same. And then I had to move things and kind of change the order and send things in the back. So this is great and kind of a check-in. And I might want to have students kind of just put a circle on where they are and what they might look at doing this. But you know what? This is going to be really complicated because the kids, when they get in there, and I know younger learners as well as old, will inadvertently move things. This is where I want to show you that I go to that more button. And if I save the frame as an image, go ahead and choose where I want it to go ahead and save and download it. And I go up to this caret right here. And I want to go ahead and add a frame. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that plus, and it adds it. And I go ahead and click that so I kind of hide it. So now I'm on my slide 2, and I want to set the background. And so I click that, and you can see you have different options in Jamboard. And I go ahead and I just take that downloaded image and put that on there. And so now what I can do is I can add maybe a circle and draw a little circle and maybe fill it with a different color. And I can go ahead and on that more button, I can duplicate it, or I can just copy and paste it. And what I can then do is give the directions for students that they can just go ahead and take this and move that shape there so that becomes draggable, and none of those can be changed. Some of the other frames that I have for us here is that in each of those episodes, I've kind of put in an image for you and have added a sticky note. Now, I have not made these as images. I've kind of kept them as an edible frame. So if you want to go ahead and use this Jamboard, make a copy of it, and then go ahead and change those sticky notes, you can do that or add in anything else that you might want to add. So there's a frame for each of our episodes. And I just want to go ahead and extend with you that all of these resources for the companion guides and the videos can be found on WOSU Classroom's website. And the links are for the templates for the Google Slides and for the Jamboards are all linked inside this presentation, and you will have access to that. And so if you have any questions or you want to kind of brainstorm different ways that you might use these video series and any of the resources that we provided to you, feel free to reach out to me, Ellen Cahill at WOSU.org. And I wish you the best as you are approaching these big emotions and finding ways in which students are not only able to realize what's going on with them, but they also can extend a hand and be that shoulder and become better friends with folks that are around them. Thank you so much.